Hey guys, peace, love, and light. Thanks for watching. I'm Beyond the Spectrum. So I wanted to come on here because some of my readings, I want to talk about some of my readings and what's been coming up in my readings about recovery. I really feel it's important for the healing process. I have some experience, so I'm going to speak on experience, strength, and hope. I'm going to share some personal information that I've been getting really nudged to talk about. Because I pay attention to my guides. I pay attention to what comes up in my readings. Because they're not just readings, they're my tools. And I get some people, it's entertainment purposes only. I get that. But it's not for me. I take what I need and I leave the rest. Kind of. I use my discernment in my own journey. But recovery. Okay, it's been coming up a lot in my readings. A lot of you either are dealing with someone in recovery, or you're going through recovery yourself, or maybe you would like to get in recovery. I don't know, okay? I'm just going off of what's coming up in my readings, and I'm certainly not judging anybody here whatsoever. I'm coming straight from my heart, okay? From someone who has been sober a very long time and never saw addiction coming, all right? Never grew up thinking I was going to, get hooked on stuff and have a problem due to life events. I had a very horrible marriage. It was like a war zone, in all honesty. And my children were hurt. And as a mom, that cuts you deep. As a dad, too, I'm not taking away from dads, okay? I'm just speaking from my experience, strength, and hope. That cuts you deep, and it cut me deep. And being an empath and a sensitive and not understanding my gifts at that time, it was like it was happening to me. And I didn't know how to separate that, okay? So I picked up. Thought it was a really good idea to do that. And I was off and running for a couple of years, and I'm not really proud of that. But it taught me a lot about me and my strengths and my weaknesses. And then fast forward, I've been sober like a really many 24 hours. I've gone through the 12 steps of recovery. I'm big advocate for the big book. That's where the recovery lies, the 12 steps, and the traditions as well. Honestly, anybody in the world, everybody should be honestly living by the 12 steps, Your life becomes unmanageable, and you learn how to turn your life over to a God of your understanding. Not my understanding, your understanding. That's the gift of it. It's not controlled, it's not organized religion. It's a God of your understanding, which is freeing. And then clearing up the wreckage of your past, because that frees the soul. That's important to free the soul from the bondage of the shit we did, okay? It's really important to make amends. Some people, that's scary, and it is scary, to confess. I caused a lot of harm to people that I love and who love me. Not meaning to, just that's where it brought me, It brings you to a really dark place. And you may have all the intention in the world of wanting to stop, but you got to be vigilant. It's constant vigilance of recovery. Going to meetings, sitting your ass down, sitting there and listening. And now it's harder with all this COVID stuff. A lot of people have relapsed because of this. And it's important to be around others who are like you, who are recovered from a hopeless state of mind, body, and spirit. Okay, it's really important to be around people like that. It lifts your vibration up. It helps you want it more. And you have to chase your recovery like you chased your booze and your drugs or whatever else you were addicted to. Okay, gambling, sex, it's all in the same category. Be careful of the ones who are sober, who are hooking and connecting with someone who is active, okay? I've been there too, which was weird because I didn't even see that. Being in recovery, you think I would have saw that, and I didn't until I was already in it and realizing, like, well, this this dude abuses drugs. Like, this explains so much fucked up behavior. And this is the person that I thought was my twin. And no, it was a big lesson for me to love me more and respect and honor me more. You know, I have a lot of love to give, and I was giving it to the wrong person who used and abused me. But I'm not a victim of my own story. See, that's the thing. I took my power back. I stand in my power and my discernment, and I use it properly in my journey now. I still make mistakes and stuff, but so this is why I was bringing up about the whole twin flame readings, okay? And this is not to impugn any reader out there, okay? Please, you are all beautiful and talented and gifted, awesome readers, okay? And I understand this is a weird platform to do. It's not one-on-one. You're not sitting across from your person reading. You're reading for a collective of energy. That's not an easy feat. It's not, as a reader here. And I was picking up on whom I would call my karmic, and I don't even like using that word. It was just vibrationally where I was at that time. Still had a lot more growing to do. I really had no business being in a relationship. Those signs were all there. It's staring me in the face, but yet I refused to see. And I didn't understand because of the connection I felt with this person. And that was the other thing, that connection was so powerful and toxic as fuck, but powerful. I mistook it. Once I started, because I never even knew what the hell a twin flame was. I'm not going to lie. I had no freaking idea. I do know I came in with somebody. I know that. And no one can tell me different. I absolutely came in with somebody, and I have not connected with them yet in this physical plane. Soul-wise, yes, I am connected. Physical plane, I've not physically had contact with my person. And I kept watching the readers, and it was like describing my ex, like to the T and to the T. I'm like, oh, this must be my person, you know, and naive. And we all are naive to a point. I manifested him back into my life. We are manifestors here. Make no mistake, you can manifest your life because you are God, creator of all that is, having a temporary human experience. You're connected to God. You're not disconnected to God, okay? You're not. So I manifested him back in my life, and wow, chaos, pain, discord. He was a hot mess. Couldn't even get sober. Like, he didn't want it. And you can tell who really wants it. You can. There's no mistaking it. Even if you're new to it. Okay? Even if you're new to this. People who really want to stay sober work their ass off to stay sober. Maybe they screw up a little bit here and there, okay, and they take their will back and they pick up. But they get back into the race, and they get back into the recovery, and they keep doing the work, because it's a lot of work. You have to untrain your brain and your neurons in your brain to undo all that was. Because when you pick up hardcore drugs and booze, your neurons are carving out addiction, and you have to undo all that with prayer. Doing the work, doing the writing, seeing your patterns. It's a lot of fucking work. And it doesn't happen overnight. And, you know, I'm sponsoring somebody that I'm actually teetering on whether I want to keep up, because I wanted it. I chased my recovery like I chased the drugs I used at the time. If I wasn't working, I listened to my sponsor. I did 3 meetings a day. If I was getting anxiety, I said the serenity prayer. I did every suggestion that was suggested to me. It saved my life for me to have this conversation on this platform. And it's hard, you know, when you grow up and you see things other people don't see. And I'm talking sober, you know, ghosts and different worlds coming within worlds. You see that stuff and you feel that stuff, and you can feel the person next to you and not understand, like, how am I picking up on that? How do you separate yourself from that? How do you separate yourself from that? By protecting your energy and starting to learn to understand that it's not your feelings you're picking up on. It's theirs. That's where I was getting lost. Big time. All right, and then add drugs to it and like, what a hot mess. But anyway, You got to want it. And you got to chase it. And it's a lot of work. And getting involved in a relationship, early recovery, not the best idea. Not the best idea. Because you really don't have a clue who you are. You don't have a clue who you are without the booze and drugs. You're learning how to cope without that. Let's add a relationship on that. No, not a good idea. I do not recommend anybody being in a relationship first year of sobriety. Even the first 2 years. I'm over 10 years in. And I didn't use drugs all my life. I picked up for 3 years. I was off and running for 3 years of my journey. But still, it did a lot of damage. A lot. And it took a lot to untrain my brain. And it's about the thinking. It's not about the actual booze and drugs, okay? That's part of the symptom. It's but a symptom. It's our thinking. We have to retrain our thinking. And it's constant exercise. It's constant vigilance of retraining your brain and knowing you are worthy and knowing you are love and knowing you are light and knowing that the universe has your back. And yes, you are connected to God. And you know what? God's got you. The God of your understanding has you. Angels are real. Archangel Michael works very closely with people in recovery because you're dealing with the devil. And you are. Make no mistake. And Archangel Michael is the only one that can protect your soul besides God from the devil. And that thing will sneak in 6 ways to Sunday. Okay? It's not always about the booze and the drugs. It's about other shit, behaviors. Lying, cheating, stealing. Little lies become easier to lie about. Stuff like that. You have to fix your moral compass. And you do. And that takes time. And I'm seeing people going back in my readings, okay? I'm seeing people going back into cycles. It's like, do you really want to do that again? Because Archangel Michael really came through yesterday in a reading I did. Do you really want to go through that cycle again with this person? And or you who are maybe using, I don't know. Do you really want to go through that hell again? Because it's hell. It's hell on earth. And you don't have to do that to yourself. There is a solution. And it is a power greater than yourself. It truly is a power greater than yourself that can restore you to sanity. Okay? And your soul. It's important to go through all this before you get involved with someone else because you don't have a clue who you are. Yeah, you can put the drugs and booze down, but have you changed the behavior? Have you? That's where the recovery begins. Is changing the behavior. Takes a lot of work, and it doesn't happen overnight. And if someone tells you it does, I'm sorry. I would love to debate it with you. That I will debate, okay, all day long. I'm very active in my recovery. I go on commitments. I share my experience, strength, and hope with others who are in facilities trying to get clean and stay sober, even to ones who are just there. I don't know why they're there, because you can tell. You can tell who wants it and you can tell who doesn't. And that's not a judging thing. You just, after a while, you can just tell. And I'm dealing with someone that I'm teetering like. It's like checking boxes. It just feels like she's just checking boxes. And I'm not about checking boxes. I'm about doing the work. And it takes a lot of work to undo all the damage we've done to ourselves, our brain, our body, our mind, our spirit, and our family and our loved ones. That's time. Things I must earn. Things I must earn. And no one can do it for you. And if you're with someone in recovery, you should be in Al-Anon to learn to not get attached. To learn that extend with love. They need to go through this for them. They have to do the work. They have to find a power greater than themselves. And it can't be you. You can't keep anybody sober. Okay? You can't. It's impossible. They will relapse. And a relapse doesn't always mean picking up. It can be an emotional relapse. It can be just it's your thinking. You got stinking damn thinking. And I don't know, I've been picking up a lot of it on my readings, and it doesn't surprise me because I'm in the recovery community, but, this is life and death. The disease wants you dead, long and short of it, and it does. This is life and death. The more you enable somebody, you could kill them. I've lost many very close to me. My son-in-law died of addiction. My grandson's father. My father died of alcoholism. A few others, and people in recovery as well. And I'm surprised the dude I wasn't living with isn't freaking dead right now. It's a miracle. But that's his journey. I stepped away. He would have taken me down with him. And he would have, eventually. I have really strong, good recovery in me. And it didn't take me out. It took me out emotionally, but that just... Be careful of the readings you're watching, too. A lot of them are reading for karmics, man. Sorry, but it's true. No divine masculine is going to be actively using. They're not going to be liars, cheats, and thieves and off screwing somebody else. They won't. That's not too divine, is it? That's a cycle they have to cycle out of, which we call karma. And again, I'm not putting anybody's readings down by any means at all. Use your own discernment on your own journey. This is just, I'm trying to help those who are seeking. And I have someone I care about very much who's in a relationship, I believe still, with someone who is in recovery. And be careful how quick you're jumping in. And I feel like maybe that message from Archangel Michael was for you. Do you really want to do this cycle again? Whether you feel they're twin flame or not. Or maybe just keep the focus on yourself. Do you. And they need to do them. You can't help them. They have to help themselves. With the 12 steps to get themselves out of a hole. It's true. You have to get involved with recovery. You can be a support person, but be careful how much you're supporting, because support can turn into enabling. And that is not the solution to that's killing an addict. And it is. It's a big deal. This is life and death. This isn't no small potatoes. This is actual life and freaking death. And I felt a serious responsibility to come on my platform and talk about recovery today. If you're with someone who's trying to get sober, how bad do they want it? If they're not working, are they hitting 3 or 4 meetings a day? Do they have a sponsor? Are they reading the big book? Are they doing the work? Are they doing 1, 2, and 3 step? Are they writing a gratitude list? Are they doing a step 10 every night? Where was I selfish, self-seeking, dishonest, and fearful? Even when you don't think that you are you doing it anyway? Or do you got that? And you can do it yourself. These are things to ask yourself. And if you're not familiar with recovery, I really hope I'm helping you be familiar with recovery if you're dealing with someone who's an addict, okay? Because we are very manipulative people when we're active. And we are. We don't mean to be. We don't mean to be. We just are. Because the disease has us. It's a disease. And don't let anybody ever tell you different. Addiction is a disease, just like cancer. Because it is a cancer. It gets in us and kills us. Anyway, I hope I'm helping you, and I'm not judging anybody. I would not do that. I'm on his journey with you, and I want to help you. And I want to help those who want to help themselves. Because you are beautiful. You are worth it. You just have to believe you're worth it. You are love, and you are light. You deserve a shot. Peace, love, and light.